Hey everybody, Chris Eggleston here, and today I am going to be going over a tutorial on how to use Gravity Forms to sell or to send e-greetings. An e-greeting would be like, best wishes, or hope you get well soon, or Merry Christmas, or Happy Birthday, right? An electronic greeting. Now, the reason we're doing this is because we have a Gravity Forms user come to us and ask us to let them know if it was possible and how they could do it. So I had a little bit of fun going through and creating a solution as an example for them, and see this as a valid use for Gravity Forms. And it can be taken further beyond just an e-greeting. It can be taken, for selling gift certificates, gift cards. I can even see it being used as a valid solution for selling e-products. Any type of electronic digital product or solution, I think, could be delivered in this fashion. There's some pretty cool things I'm going to be showing you here in this tutorial. And I want to go over the prerequisites with you and kind of outline them a little bit before we jump into the actual building of the form. So there's a couple important things to understand. You do need Gravity Forms license for this. Now, for the demonstrations that we're going to be showing you, the first one that doesn't have a payment option in it, you could probably get by with a basic license. However, we'd use the signature add, which requires an elite license. And then in the payment form, the form where you collect payment for sending e-greetings, we use the Stripe add-on, which requires a pro or elite Gravity Forms license. And then we're also using a few other add-ons just to make it easier to build it, but also to give it more functionality and just some better experience for the user. So we're using the image choices add-on from JetSloth, and I'll show you each of these and point them out as we go through the actual demonstration. But we're also using Gravity Perks preview submission from Gravity Wiz, and we're going to use the brand new Gravity Perks notifications scheduler add-on from Gravity Wiz. Now that one is technically optional, just depending on what you need. You don't actually have to use that one. The other ones I would highly recommend, the image choices and the preview submissions, are ideal solutions. You're probably also going to notice some different things about my user interface within Gravity Forms. I'm not using a different version or custom version or anything like that. I just use a couple of utility plugins, and I use Gravity Hopper and Gravity Perks Live Preview add-ons, which just add some utility functionality to Gravity Forms to make it easier to do things when you're building out your forms, or creating solutions or doing demonstrations essentially. So you'll notice those. I do recommend checking those things out. Now, if you are watching this video on YouTube, I have linked to all of these things below the video to make it easy for you to find, to access, to check out. You're also welcome to come over to gravityranger.com to the article here. We have the tutorial pretty much laid out with the videos for you to access the information as well. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into building your form. All right, so this is the first form that we have for you. So we're going to go over the non-payment form first. And so on this one, basically it's just fields. It's a multi-page, so you're using a page break. I've got a section field, and just collecting data and information. So basically what we're going to do is have an end result of actually creating an e-greeting so that somebody can send a greeting. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the live preview. All right, so we're asking for the sender's information. So if you were the one that was sending this e-greeting to somebody, then you're gonna fill out the form. And then you'll put the individual who you're sending it to, the e-greeting recipient. Now, delivery date. Initially, we put the delivery date on there because the customer that requested, the how to do this setup, they were going to have these e-greetings sent to an admin or somebody at a nursing home, and then that individual was going to print out the actual greetings and deliver them to the individuals. So we put the date in there so that they could specify, hey, I would like this e-greeting delivered on this date. I left it in for this demonstration because it will work out good if you decide to use the notifications scheduler functionality. So we left it in for that purpose. Okay, so I'm going to just put the Christmas Eve here. And I'm going to start with Merry Christmas greeting. Okay, and I'm going to demonstrate two separate greetings because they function differently. So by default, I've got 4 options built in here. You could obviously include as many as you want. This field is using the image choices from JetSloth. So if they were to select upload photo, then they get an option to upload a photo here. Otherwise, they can select from one of the photos available. So we'll go ahead and select this one. We need to put in our message. And here's the signature field. Again, this isn't absolutely required. Just adds a little more personal touch to it. So once you hit next, you get a display, a preview of what your email is going to look like, what your e-greeting looks like when the user receives it. So if it's being printed out, it'll be printed out like this. If they're going to just look at it in their email, this is how it would look. And then if you're good with it, you can go ahead and send some love. If you're not ready, you can go back and edit again. So let's go ahead and send it. And then we can go ahead and take a look at the actual notification that gets sent. So here's the actual email. So the subject is Merry Christmas, Kayla, sending it to the first name of the person who you put in there. And then for kicks and giggles, we put a little promo down here, spread the love, send an e-greeting today, right? Just something that companies would do essentially to promote their product. And then this is what the customer would receive from your submission. There are 2 other emails. There's an administration email that would essentially go to the e-greeting service provider for their records, and then there's the order receipt that would go to the person sending the greeting. Now jump back over into this demo again. We go to live preview again. Okay, and I'll show you the other option here. So get well soon. Sorry, I changed the date on that. So this one we can essentially just send immediately. So get well soon. So in this option, there is no upload your own. Just have these 3 options to choose from. So somebody picked their image, just same workflow, no changes here. Okay, so you'll notice that it's a little bit different. The colors, the background color is different. Don't have the red, it's now just a gray. So what I'm doing here, and I'll go ahead and show you, is I've created multiple notifications. So because Christmas is kind of unique and you can dress up your email notification a little bit more, tailor it to the topic or to the greeting. This one that we're looking at right now is just more of a general greeting, okay, which could be used for everything. Right now I have that one being used for everything except for Christmas. So if we look at the configurations, you'll see that we're using conditional logic here, but we'll go more into that later. And then again, the notification changes if they're uploading their own image, because we have to use different fields to pull in that image in the actual email. So that's essentially how it works and what we're doing. I want to show you a couple of important aspects here to really making this work. As I mentioned, these two fields are using the image choices add-on from JetSloth, and you can see it's really easy here to add your images. So basically you just click on this and you can upload your image or pull it from a media library. What you'll want to do if you do this is, I always do show values so that I can put in a label, and you have the option to display the label, as you can see here below the image, or to turn it off. I turned it on just because I think it's a better user experience. And then what gets recorded in the notification is the label as well. So you, as the service provider, would see that that they sent image Elmo Love or Get Well 3. So you can see what that is. And like I said, we've got the upload, so they can upload their own image if they choose to. And then the signature field. And then we have a couple of HTML fields down here, and these have custom HTML and CSS in it. Essentially, it's almost exactly the same thing as we're using in the email template, minus the footer that says, go get or go send some love. So we put that in here, and then just use conditional logic to display the different previews depending on which option they're selecting. So there's one of the HTML fields that works for this get well option. There's one that works for Christmas if they use one of the existing photos, and then there's one for if they upload their own photo. So there's a little bit of work, a little bit of organization that goes into this. And then again, this is being made possible by the add-on, what's it called? I forget. Preview submissions from GravityWiz. So page 2 is possible because of that add-on. Gravity Forms out of the box doesn't support displaying the submissions before they're submitted, but that perk makes it possible, so it's really sweet. To add to it, we've done some things like created custom page names, so as they're going through the steps, they can see what they're actually working on, what they're doing. So there's, again, not much here that's not a typical field or anything like that. A lot of conditional logic, and then just a lot of thinking through the process and making sure that you're filling the needs based on the user's selection. So in this case, we have a couple of other options other than Get Well, Merry Christmas, but we have Happy Birthday, Happy Anniversary, and just because, and then you could have a whole slew of others. And you don't necessarily have to break them out like we did for Christmas. They could all use the same generic email and the same process. Maybe just, having different sections like card images, like we've done here for each of the options. So it doesn't have to be extravagant, and you don't necessarily have to have, however many options or choices you have. You don't have to have that many different HTML fields with your code. For preview, you could just use the same one all the way through, or a couple if you're going to allow for users to upload their own images. So that's the very basic one. The no payment required. We took it a step further and just thinking about, if somebody wanted to make it more convenient, what if I wanted to schedule one of these to be sent every year on somebody's birthday? What if I wanted one of these to be sent every year at Christmas time automatically, and not have to go redo it unless I wanted to? And so as we thought about that, we figured, okay, well that's a little bit more involved for the service provider to make sure that their system's up and running, that that things are functioning and everything. So we figured, well, it would make sense that something like that would be paid for, adds a little bit more value, a little bit more importance to it. So what we did was we went ahead and duplicated this form and created an entirely new one, just adding the one feature for payment. So everything's exactly the same, except for there's an additional page where you collect payment with some options. Frequency. Okay, so everything has the same price. Keeping that simple, you could obviously adjust that. But frequency, you're going to send this one time. Do you want to send it monthly? Do you want to send it yearly? And depending on what they select here, just determines which notification is sent, determines which of these messages displays. This is just a notification saying, hey, because you've chosen to have your greetings sent monthly, you'll be charged the amount shown above every month. If you'd like to cancel, contact us. Right, so it's just a hey, heads up, so people aren't freaking out, saying they didn't know that was going to happen when you clearly told them. So yeah, based on this, it just determines which Stripe fee gets processed. If it's a one-time, then there's a feed for just a one-time payment. If it's monthly, there's a feed for a monthly subscription. If it's yearly, there's a feed for a yearly subscription, using conditional logic to determine which feed processes. And then again with notifications. So there's notifications that are going to process differently, because what we're going to do is schedule them so they automatically get sent at the scheduled time. So let's go ahead and do a live preview on this one. So you'll notice that the steps are the same. There's just one additional one. So here's where delivery date can be important if we're going to be doing a reoccurring one, because we can have it sent on the same date every time. So we'll just put tomorrow. And this, again, same setup. I've got get well configured. I don't have these other ones set up. I just did this for demonstration purposes. And then we've got Merry Christmas. So we'll go ahead and do another Christmas one. Put in our message. Okay, same thing. We get to preview it. Yeah, looks good. Love it. Go to complete our order. So now it's going to ask us frequency. Do we want to do this one time? There's a credit card field. Do we want to do it monthly? Again, there's the message. Do we want to do it yearly? Message changes just the time frame. So if we do this yearly or monthly, again, it's going to trigger a different notification that's going to send. It's going to send initially, but then it's going to also trigger a reoccurring notification. So it'll be sent regularly. So I'm just going to, for this one, just do a one time. Okay. And then that should process. And we should get a couple more notifications here. So same thing. We get the service provider gets an email, the site admin, the recipient gets their email. Okay, they're all warm and fuzzy, and then you get your order confirmation, and then this one has order details. Okay, and then if we look at we can go ahead and look at the entry itself if you want. We got all the information here in the entries. Okay, and then here's where we get some information about what's going on in the back end. Okay, so a payment was completed by Stripe for $25. The admin notification was sent. The Christmas notification was sent. This was to the user. And the payment receipt ID was sent as well. And then there are some scheduled notifications. Christmas notification yearly. This doesn't look right. It should have only scheduled. Leave it up to a live demo here. Something always gets to go wrong. So this shows you that there is a scheduled notification. Okay, so they got their initial one, but there shouldn't be any scheduled ones essentially, because we did the one time, not the annually. But if they had done it yearly, then we would have seen those like we did. Okay, so something's not configured right. It's probably my fault. So that's how that one works. So you'll know that there's scheduled notifications. It's pretty cool. And so basically what I'm going to do now is we're going to make a shift to looking at the actual notifications, just to kind of give you a little bit of a breakdown of how those work. I've made this form template available to you, both of them, so that you can download them right from gravityranger.com, where this article is. You can download them there, and then you can just import them, and you'll be able to easily get up and running. When you import them into your Gravity Forms on your site, basically the only thing you're not going to get is the Stripe feeds. You'll get all the notifications, all the custom HTML and CSS in the notifications. You'll get all the form fields, everything as I've shown you. The only thing you won't receive is the Stripe feeds. Those don't get exported with the file. So what I want to do with notifications, again, just because I'm providing the templates for you, there's no real need to go over how to set them up. But I do want to just review the configurations with you and work through the logic with you so that you understand. So here we are with, and I'm going to start with the more complex one. In fact, I'll probably just show you the complex one because, again, they're exactly the same. The only difference is this one has payment options, a payment receipt, and then the frequency notifications. So there's quite a few, and there could be more depending on how complex your form is and how you've got things structured. But we've got our general notification. This one sends anytime a selection is made other than Christmas. If Christmas is selected, then this one goes. If Christmas and upload my own image is selected, then this notification goes. Payment receipt goes every time. And then we've got Christmas notification yearly, Christmas notification with upload image yearly. And these should trigger, let's go and look at one of these. So these should trigger only if all these things match up. So this one, Christmas notification yearly, should trigger if the user selects Merry Christmas, if card image is not uploadable, so any other selection, and frequency is yearly, then this should trigger this notification to be set up to send every year. So initially there's going to be a delay of 1 minute, and then there's going to be a automatic campaign set up to send this out every year. Now, I could have set this to send 0 minutes after the delivery date. So the delivery date was tomorrow, so they would essentially receive the email tomorrow, and then every year they would have received it on the same day. Okay. You could also specify a specific date and time. And again, this feature right here, the schedule functionality, is provided by the GravityWiz add-on notifications scheduler. So this isn't a built-in functionality. So if you're not using that, you don't have the ability to schedule these out. Okay, so again, this is the custom HTML and CSS. It's nothing fancy, and I'm sure a lot of you could improve upon this and make it a lot better than I did. But just wanted to give you something there so you could see how it works. So let's look at another notification here. And then I set this one up just to be able to show you what the monthly one looks like. So when the form is submitted, we're sending to the recipient's email. If they want to reply to that email, it's going to go to you, the sender. It's from you, the sender. And then down here, we have the same setup except for monthly. And this one should only trigger if the user selects just because as the type of greeting, and on frequency they select monthly. Then this should send the initial greeting. Right now it's set up as a 1 minute delay, but then it would repeat monthly. So that also means that Stripe is going to charge them monthly, because what we've done here is we've created a Stripe feed that bills every month. Whatever the form total was, it bills every month when the frequency is monthly. This feed gets processed. Okay, and we can see over here in the entries, you can see payment details. So you can see how much they paid. If this was a subscription, you would have the ability to actually cancel the subscription. Here's where you have a button to cancel the subscription, and it would show you those details. So basically I don't feel like we need to go too deep into these notifications, just because you can download the templates and install them and play with them. Just wanted to give you an overview so you can see what they look like, how they're configured, how they function, what the logic's like, and that. So the last bit is the Stripe settings. Now this bit's a little bit more important, and I'll try to go a little bit more deep on these, because again, you will not get the Stripe feeds in the templates when you download and import them into your site. So for these, we'll go ahead and look at each one and just point out the details. So the first one is the one time. So let me go ahead and preview this form. We're just going to advance through. So when somebody selects one time, this is the feed that's going to process. Okay, so eGreeting one time. The transaction type is product and service. It's not a subscription. Payment amount is form total. You can also select the actual product if you want. Form total is just easier. You know, you don't have an address field, so those can't be mapped up. You can enable Stripe's a Stripe receipt to send to the person who's paying for it. But then you'll also need to have conditional logic configured. This is important. Stripe can only process one feed at a time. If you have 3 feeds and only one of them has conditional logic, Stripe will process the first feed. Okay. So you need to have logic on all 3 of them. So this one again should only process when the user selects one time from frequency. The second one is for the monthly subscription. So anytime somebody selects monthly in frequency, this Stripe feed should process. Okay, again, form total. This one, transaction type is a subscription because we're going to be billing them regularly. Form total. The subscription name, I just pulled in some identifiers so that if I needed to ever go in and manage this customer in the Stripe account, I can more easily find them. Form total, this billing cycle is every 1 month. And then because the subscription, we have a couple other options here. It is going to require that you use an email. So in this case, we want to use your email since you're going to get the receipt because of using your card to pay for it. You can add a description based on one of the fields. So you could just do like the product name in the description. If we had coupons, we would integrate with coupons, but we're not using coupons on this. And then again, enabling conditional logic. So this is only going to process when the user selects monthly. Okay. So the last one is for yearly. This one is also a subscription. Okay. Same thing here on the subscription name, just to make it easy to locate in Stripe's account. Form total again, billing cycle in this case is 1 year. So every 1 year, same options down here, and then just making sure that we're selecting the right frequency or the right conditional logic for frequency, which is yearly. So if somebody puts yearly in the frequency at any time, then this Stripe feed will be triggered, subscription will be created, and they'll be charged every year. And then the notifications will handle sending out that notification every year as well. And you can also even just kind of, so that the person who sets up the subscription and pays for it every year is going to get the receipt that they paid. But you may also, in the notifications, want to add them as a blind copy. So they're also going to get the email, the actual eCard, eGreeting. So they'll get a copy of the eGreeting email as well, so they can see that it actually got sent. So there wouldn't be any concerns there. Just drop their email tag in there, and they should get the email as well. So that's pretty much it for this setup. It's not super complicated. There are a lot of moving parts and a lot of added features. Again, you could dumb it down, you could simplify it a ton if you wanted to or if you needed to for your specific use case. But I really feel like what we've done is, it was fun for one. It was fun, And to me, it's, again, we didn't go crazy on the design. It could be way more fancy, way cooler, but it serves a good purpose, and it looks good. And I think it would work. It would meet the intended purpose. And as I said, there's ultimately, I hope this gave you spark some ideas, essentially, some ways that you could use this in your business or for a business or whatever the case may be. You may not need eGreetings, but maybe you need the ability to sell something else digitally, but you don't want to deal with email marketing platforms and a major commerce plugin or whatever the case may be. You want something simple that works, and this would do it. So hopefully this was enjoyable for you. Again, with these videos, with the templates that you can download from the site here, you'll be able to implement this and get it set up to your liking. As always, feel free to reach out to us in the comments below this video on YouTube, or over at gravityranger.com. You can reach out to us there as well in the comments. We're always happy to help, give some suggestions, some advice, and guidance to help you advance with Gravity Forms. So I appreciate you taking the time to go through this, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.